Hey, so friends, it's your girl K Stu. Welcome back to K Charles Couture sewing page. Listen, y'all, we are going in today for a really cute project. Are y'all ready for this? Because I'm ready for this. Listen, I saw this picture here on Pinterest and I instantly fell in love. I was in G Street Fabrics and I saw this shearling. That's what they call it, shearling. And it was rolled up and I was like, I gotta have it because I remember that coat and I was like, I can use this coat at the bottom. I get home, y'all, and the thing is like all cut up. I should have opened it up. I don't know what I was thinking about when I was in there. I should have opened it up to see exactly how big the piece was or whatever, but I didn't. I just assumed that the piece was squared off. Let me just say this. I knew it wasn't a really big piece, but I just figured it was squared off. So when I remember this coat right here, I was like, this surely would be perfect for the bottom piece of this jacket. So instantly I was like, let's go ahead and make it. Okay, are y'all ready? Stay tuned because there is a lot to pack into this tutorial. But I hope you all enjoy it and I'll see you soon. All right, so family, so we're going to jump right into this. And the first thing I need to do is prep all my materials. So there are three main pieces that I'm going to have to modify with this pattern. That's going to be your back piece, and that's the two front pieces. And that's because those are the pieces that have the most detail. Those are the pieces where you see that there's denim on the top, and then there's the shearling on the bottom. So we're going to have to take that one pattern piece, and we're going to have to kind of divide it up, split it up a little bit, and make sure that those pieces are looking the way I need them to look for this modification that we're doing. Now, I have already cut out my pieces. I know that I need my collar, the upper collar, I need that to be in fur. I know I want my facing in fur. And I know that I need the shearling at the bottom, and I know that I need to have the denim at the top. Okay, so we're going to get started with our back piece. And the reason I'm using the back piece first is because it's easier to make the two front pieces match the back piece than trying to do the other way around. And just in my opinion, that's all. So here I'm trying to figure out how am I going to pin it so that I have that line of shearling that's going to be exposed during the jacket. So you see here, I'm just kind of flipping the denim around. What I realize is that I'm going to have to take my denim and I'm going to have to attach it to the fur piece itself. But I'm going to leave out enough seam allowance so that I can just flip it over and just give it like a top stitch across the shearling, and then that will give it that line of shearling that's hanging out in the coat that I really like. I really love that detail about the jacket. So this is what I'm doing. So I'm just, again, y'all know I'm visual, so I like to put it together and make sure it's going to give me exactly what it is that I need. Okay, so now that I have it plotted out how I'm going to pin it so it will give me the maximum look that I want for this jacket, let's go ahead and start pinning it. Now again, y'all know how I am about pins and clips. During this time, you can make sure that you overdo your pins or your clips. Let me tell you why. What I've learned with working with this shearling and this denim is that the stuff will slide and it will move. So do not think that, I don't care how long you've been sewing. Don't think you can just go over to your machine and be like, oh, I'll just sew with no pins. Listen to what I'm telling y'all. Pin it down, pin it, clip it, whatever it is you got to do. and make sure you get it done right so that it doesn't move and it doesn't shift. I'm really liking the way that this look. I think that is big enough for the line of shearling that I want to be hanging out. So again, we're just going to pin it all the way down. And then once we finish, we're going to take it over to our machine and give it a sew. I definitely love the way that this is coming out. So now that I got my back piece done, I'm going to just go ahead and put this to the side, and we're going to grab our front pieces so we can do the exact same thing for them. Now, one of the most important things for me is when I'm doing these front pieces, because I want to make sure that those little lines that you see going across the jacket with the shearling hanging out of the coat, I want to make sure that those are even. So you can see right now I'm measuring how much seam allowance I'm using for the fur, because I want to make sure I do that same seam allowance on each piece. Now on my back piece, I want to say it was about an inch of shearling that I did for seam allowance, because I'm going to flip it over. So what you're going to see is about a quarter of an inch hanging out. There's a quarter of an inch that's going to be sewn. So again, that's like 3/4 of an inch. So I'm leaving out about 3/4 of an inch so that I can make sure that I get that same line that they have in the coat. Okay, so now that I have everything pinned, I don't have anything sewn down yet, I just have it pinned. I'm putting it in place so I can see, like, because y'all know I had, like, this one right here. This is that makeshift piece that I had to fix. And it doesn't look bad, y'all. It actually looks good. And I'm debating, like, what I might do is just take a, after I'm done, take a piece of, like, one of them extra pieces I have and just put another line there and another line there. Oh, but we'll see. I don't know. We'll work it out. But right now, since I have everything pinned down, I'm trying to place it together to make sure that everything is matching and that nothing is off, or if I need to move it up, move it down. So this is what my test is right now. So right now I see that I have a little bit, it's longer on this side, but that's okay because I knew that. That's why I have that edge right there. So that's okay. So I'll make sure that they're nice and even. Now let's grab the back pieces and make sure that the back is matching as well. And this is one thing that you're going to have to remember that you are going to have to do is when you're modifying a pattern or you're altering a pattern, you're going to have to make sure that everything lines up after you have did your alterations. Because again, you don't want to have, like, for instance, this jacket. I don't want this jacket to, the front of it is hiked up in the air and then the back is low. That doesn't look good. So that's why right now what I'm looking at is to make sure that these are lining up together, and they are. So that's going to be fine. And I'm looking at the length, and the length is right here where I knew it was going to be. So the next thing we can do is go ahead and sew these pieces together so that we have one steady piece. And then you can go on to the directions for the pattern. So for me, when I say it's the details, y'all, this is the thing that sometimes holds me up from finishing a project a little on a timely fashion, like I know I can. But look at that strip right there, and that looks perfect. So now with that added strip right there, it really does look like a short version of my inspiration pick. And again, like I said, they ended up being a short version because when I opened up the pattern, when I opened up the material, it was all jacked up. So let's go ahead and add these 2 strips on the front, and then we'll do the same thing for the back. Okay, y'all, so this pattern actually calls for inset pockets, but I'm not doing that because the jacket, my inspiration jacket, has welt pockets. Now, I'm going to be using a method I learned on CatherineSews.com. I'm going to link her video down below. So we're going to put our welt pockets on this coat with 1 step. Now, for me, because I want my welt pocket at the top to have the fur on it, I'm going to have to attach the fur piece to the pocket like that. So that's what mine is going to end up looking like when I finish sewing it together. Now, the reason for that, because like I said, I want the fur to hang out of the coat when it flips over. So I'm gonna go over to my sewing machine, and I'm gonna sew these down like this, and then I'll come back and show you the next step. All right, so I am back from the machine. I am back from the machine, and this is what I have so far. So this is my right side. This is my wrong side. On my wrong side, we are going to draw a box, and we're gonna put a rectangle here. It's gonna be 15 centimeters by 2 centimeters. Okay. You grab your ruler and your pen, and we're going 15 centimeters, and we're gonna go about an inch down from the top. We'll go about an inch down from the top, so that's right there. Make that little mark. Then we're gonna take our ruler, and we're going 15 by 2. That's there. So since that's like the middle, about 7.5 is the middle. All right, so draw your box, 15 centimeters. Let me go and get a better pen, because this one I can't see that good. So we're gonna go. Let's grab the blue one and see if that one is better. Keep your pencil sharpener around, y'all, because we go through these. Okay, so 15 by 2. Make a mark. That's 15. Double check. 15. Yep, that's 15. And then we're going to go down 2 centimeters there. So from the bottom of the box, let's go down 2 centimeters. And then we're going to go over here and come down 2 centimeters as well. I'm gonna tell you, I gotta thank Catherine Sews, because there's no way I would be doing no video like this where I'm actually showing you my welt pockets if I hadn't have did it with her. And then we're gonna make these boxes meet. Make those meet right there. So there's your box. Let's see, can you see? Yep. So there's my box. And that is what I'm going to go over to the machine and sew all the way across, facing the other one. Okay, so let's go here. Do the same thing, come down about an inch. Right there. It's an inch. And then we're going 15 centimeters. Two. Side. What's that? So boom, you got that first line, and y'all know me, I always like to double check. That's 15, perfect. We're going down 2 centimeters here. Go down 2 centimeters. Both sides. Alright, so we got our boxes on there. Now go ahead and grab your pockets. Now, you should, normally if you have a pattern where it shows you where your pockets are supposed to go. So my other pockets were supposed to start, my inside pockets would have been right here. So let me just show you what I mean. Because we're going to use that same guide to put our pockets. We just not, like I said, we're just making some welt pockets instead. Now normally it would have been here. This is how this pocket is laid out, like this. Would have been just like that. Now, because we're doing our welt pocket, we still want it to go. It's not gonna be on the side. Okay, so I grabbed my little template because, like I said, this was actually made. The pattern was made for inside pockets. So since we're not doing that, I do know that this is where that pocket was supposed to. I know that this is where this would have been. Would have been like this. If I was doing the inside pockets, would have been like that. So we're going to keep that same concept with our welt pockets. And I'm going to just do it like this because I think it would be cuter at a little slant. So basically, that's how the pocket is going to look when it gets done. Like that. What y'all think? Because then when I'm standing up, like before, if it was this one, my hand would have been in here like this. So now that I'm doing the inset, the welt pocket, it's going to go in like that. So it's kind of pretty much the same. So this is where I'm going to mark my welt pocket on both pieces. So I'm going to just take it, I'll put a little mark here so that I know that this is where I want my pocket. Now my pocket is going to be 7 inches. I told y'all. It's going to be 7 inches. Because normally there's 6. It's only 6 inches. Okay, let's do 6 inches. 7, 8, 21 off each side. And we'll make a mark. I'm just making that mark right there so that I know where I'm going to be sewing. So it's there and it's there, right? Those are my 2 marks. Make it something a little darker so we can see. So I know I'm going to stop here and I'm going to stop here. Those are my 6 inches on the pocket. I think I have. Yeah. In there. Okay. Now I'm just thinking about something. Thinking about my seam allowance, but it'll be alright. Because my seam allowance is here. I don't want it to cut into my pocket. So maybe. Because that's going to be the top of it. Well, that's the top. So it'll be okay. Okay. So that's what my pocket is going to be. And then, like I said, my seam allowance when I put the sides together. We'll go down that way. So I'm good. So let's get some measurements so we can make it match on the other side. So this is like that. And we're gonna get these right here. And I'm gonna mark out where these. On that so I know exactly where the pocket is supposed to lay. Let's pin it together like that. So I got that pinned down, right sides facing, because remember we're going to push all of this on the inside. So once we push it on the inside, you're going to see that fur on the outside of the coat. Okay, let's go and grab our second piece. And I'm going to do the same thing to that piece. This is the back. Let me go this piece quickly. Now, I am going to cheat a little bit. And when I say cheat, this is what I mean. Grab you some tracing paper. If you don't have any, get some. Get you some tracing paper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay these down like this, flat on each other. Like you can almost kind of tell where it's supposed to be, huh? Now this is good because I forgot this is the longer piece, so this is the shorter piece. So let's see how that looks even with the shorter piece. Okay, it's still good. All right. So we're gonna get our tracing paper out like this. Let's use yellow because yellow should show up pretty well. And we're going to put those together like that. And I'm going to, let's move this out the way for a quick second. Because what I'm going to do is, trace the paper. This is where we're marking. Right there. X, where you go? X marks the spot. Lay that down. I'm gonna grab my pen and go straight up through both. Make sure I'm still in my mark. Yep, I am. And this is the mark I need to copy. So go get you some, get your little pencil that I got no point to it, and you're gonna press it down. Press, 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 press it down like that. With the pen. And guess what? You got your mark on that side. That's following this mark on this side. Like that. Get sure. I'll lay this one out like this. Grab this. Because this is your first mark. Right here. Y'all know I am. Right there. And we'll go from that mark up 6 inches. And we'll make a mark here. Just like that. And we'll grab our other piece, right sides facing. This time we're going to keep them down. I'll put this in that mark here. Like that. Put this one. And this one. Like that. And like that. And actually, you want to pin it around the side because we're getting ready to sew this box. So move it enough so that your make sure you put your pins away from the mark so you have enough for your Alright, we're gonna pin this down, but don't pin it too close to your lines where you have to sew. Make sure you give yourself enough seam allowance on here, and I just like to make sure it don't move. This will keep it from moving. Go ahead and do the same thing with the other pocket. Then we're going to go over to our sewing machine and we're going to sew that box all the way around. Sew that box. Now we'll get our pins. I'm going to pin this down. Make sure that they are matching here. That one, same thing from over here. That is matching. So go ahead and pin it straight down. Like that. That one was here. Just like that. And let's go over to our machine. Let's sew our boxes and I'll show you the next step. And I'm still using my walking foot because I'm still sewing fur. So we'll go in the middle. We're going to start in the middle so that we have really crispy edges, because you're going to have to get into those edges. Make sure you're staying on your line. That's important as well. All right, let's go. When I get to the end, I like to hand crank it, just to make sure I don't go past that box, because that box is very important in the construction of your pocket. And go slow, y'all. We ain't in no competition. This is no race. Take your time so you have a really good product, because you don't want to just be rushing and then you're wearing something that looks bad. Y'all know I'm the queen of that. Handmade don't mean it has to look handmade. Handmade, just for me, it means, baby, I'm crushing with the stove. Put some pin away. Throw this pin down. Got a pin in there. Get it out. I gotta take my pin out, y'all. Look at crazy up in here. Okay, so got that. Let's turn it. Go a couple more clicks. turn it. So when you, this is what you should have. Looks like that, my bad. It should look like this for you. This is, yeah, it should be looking like that right now. Alright, y'all, you should be back from your sewing machine with your pocket sewn down like this, right sides facing. Let's cut some strings. So you can pinch it like that and use your scissors and snip it. I don't do that. I'm gonna grab my rotary cutter. And we want to leave about a thumb away from the ends. Use my rotary cutter. And this one is thick because it got all that fur. But you can see it open up. I'm going to grab my snips about a thumb away. And then I'm going to snip into the corners. Don't get your stitching, but get close to it. Real close to it. Same thing on this side. Close like that. The other side, same thing. About a thumb up. And we're gonna go ahead to our sides. Like I said, mine's is thick because of this fur, so just make sure that you're getting through all the layers. Okay. We are through. Y'all gotta excuse the fur. It is something. Okay, now normally what you could do is, if you have to use regular material, you would give it a good press that way, flat that way. And then the same thing at the top, give it a good press like that. But we messing with fur, so that ain't gonna work for us. Go ahead and push it through. Pull it on the other side, so now you're on the inside of your coat. You'll grab all those pieces through. And I can see this one, I didn't go into my curve. I didn't go into my corners enough. So let me pull it back through. That happens, but it's okay. You just go back and fix it. Like that one is a good one. It's this side. Yep, that one didn't get in there at all. That's why I said make sure you get all the layers. Because when you do that, you have a couple of layers. Okay, now we can push it back through. Push it back through and flip it on the wrong side. Flip it through. It should be coming through and it should look like this. This is what you should be seeing on the inside of your pocket. There's my little triangle pieces there. There's my seam allowance up top. And I'm right there. Okay. Seam allowance, yeah. And then again, if it were using normal material, you could give it a good press again. You could open this up and press this down. Same thing at the top. You can give that top part a pressing, but we're not working with that material, so we got to do what we need to do. Okay, so now that we have it pushed through, because I'm dealing with this fur and it don't want to lay down easy, I just stuck a pin right here to keep it in place. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your welt pocket right here, and we're going to just fold it up so that it meets the end of that seam right there. So now we're going to make it look just like that. So almost like we're closing up the door. So now it's open like that. We're going to lift it up a little bit so that these two edges meet. And then I'm going to take a pin, stick it here, just so I can flip it over and see what it's looking like on the other side to make sure I don't need to do any adjustments. So I got a pin to hold the other side. Now this is what it looks like on the outside. And that actually looks perfect. This is exactly the way I wanted it to look, especially based off my inspiration picture. Okay, so now that we have that down like that, I'm gonna get a clip. I'm gonna just add a clip over here so it stays down like that. So we're going to, let me move this pin. Let's get a clip. And I'm just clipping these two pieces together so that they don't move, and so that this stays consistent. Okay, so that's what these are for. So lift it up, and we're going to start working on this bottom piece right here. So the first thing we want to do is this one right here. We're going to go over to our sewing machine, and we're going to give it a sew, and I'm going to show you what we're going to sew down. While you have the seam allowance, we're going to press it down like that. One, so that you can see what I'm working with. But this is what we have. I'm going to put a couple pins in it because I don't want it to move. So let's grab a pin. Y'all, these pins, I got to go get my my other pins. These pins do not want to be messing with this Sherpa today. Hold on, y'all. Let me get some more pins. Okay, so because basically what we're going to do is we're going over to our sewing machine, and we're going to we're going to sew down this bottom part. And the only thing that we have on that is going to be the seam allowance and the coat itself. So go over to your machine and give it a good sew from here there on both pockets. Make sure you do it on both, because what you're going to, essentially what we're doing is we're starting with this here, and we're going to sew this down so it don't go nowhere. See that? That's what we're doing. So go on over there and give that a good sew, and make sure everything else is out the way. Do not catch anything. Everything else should be over to your right hand side, and we're just going to sew this down again. I'm trying to get it so you can see. We're going to sew it down, start from here all the way down to the bottom. Do it on both sides and come back. Alright, so when you come back from the machine and you've sewn that, sorry, which one was it? Did I do this one? Yeah, once you come back and you have your seam allowance sewn, you want to go ahead and grab this pocket flap, and we're going to flip it straight up in the air. We're going to grab the top of this seam allowance up here, and we're going to clip them together, clip the lines together like this, because this is where we're about to be finished with this pocket. Once we sew all this around, there ain't gonna be nothing left. So let's flip it like that. Oh, where's my, make sure your welt is still in there nice and good. And at ease, just like that. Okay, flip back, and you'll make sure you clip everything together, because you can see I'm clipping all of this. Again, like I said, once you have the top part clipped, then we're going to try to scoot everything towards the middle. Okay, make sure your welt is still intact, and you should also have those little triangle pieces that we cut out earlier. We're going to cut everything together. So go ahead and give it a good, put some clips or pins or whatever you're using, because when we go to our sewing machine, we're going to sew these 3 edges in one swoop. We're not stopping. So let's scoot this one over to the middle as well. Let's make sure that is right in there, nice and snug. Grab your triangle pieces. Those are those little triangles that we cut out earlier. And we're going to put everything together, because like I said, we're going to do one big swoop. So here's what we're doing. We're going over to our sewing machine, and you're going to sew these 3 sides. Up that way, across that way, and back down that way. And make sure when you're coming back down that you're catching those triangles. You can do a separate stitch if you want to, but I'm not. I'm just going to go in and catch mine and then come back out so I have as much pocket as possible. Okay, so you should be back from your sewing machine after you did the 3 sides like I told you, and this is what you should be looking like. And guess what? When you flip it over, your pocket is basically done. There you go. And it's exactly the way I wanted it. I want that fur to be out. I like it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And guess what? Your welt pocket in. So do your second one. And now, guess what? Once you got that part, well, I mean, if you're not doing welt pockets, you don't have to do what I'm doing. If you're not doing all this extra stuff, you don't have to worry about it. But now that I have the extras done, I can finally go on into the pattern and actually put it together. So y'all know I had to get that fur up real fast. So I just did a quick little vacuum in here. I have the jacket pieces in the dryer to get rid of some of the excess fur. So let's go. Okay, so now that I have did all my additions to this pattern, we can finally get to the pattern and actually sew it together. Okay, if you've forgotten what pattern we're doing this one right here, Simplicities 8554, and we're actually doing view B, which is the shorter jacket, because I had that mixed up with my material and I had to make a shorter jacket, which worked out perfect because my inspiration picture has like these little overlays on it. Also has those overlays on it. That's jean, and then the sleeves are denim, and I also have the iron-on patch to add to my elbows. So I think I may put this on before I actually sew the sleeves together, but we'll see. So now we can go ahead and follow the directions. So the first thing it tells me to do is it tells me to grab my front 2 pieces, and we're going to add our darts. Alright, so grab your front 2 pieces, which is this one and this one for me. Move that over there. And you have some darts at the top, which you marked. And I marked mine as well. Now, what I like to do with my darts is I like to just give a little snip so I know where to connect them at. And then here's my dot to let me know where I need to stop. Let me make sure that dot is on the other side as well. Yep, I have them both. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and find our slits. We're gonna put our slits together like that. And again, I'm sure you know how to make a dart, but that's what we're doing first, making our darts. We're gonna stop at that mark here. That's the same thing on this side. Find slits, which I did here. Put a little pin. Find a little dart at the bottom. And that adds. If you can't find it, then you know what you do. What you did to one, you have to do to the other one. So we're gonna go down and put those 2 together. This is where the dot should be at, right there. So go on over to your machine and you're gonna sew it down and then come back. All right, once you get your darts in, we're gonna go ahead and grab our little overlay pieces. And with the overlay pieces, oh, you know what, y'all? Excuse me, I gotta go back to the cutting board because I was supposed to cut 4 of these and I totally forgot. So let me cut 2 more of these real quick. grab that jean. I can't believe I forgot to put those extra 2 pieces. And the reason you're doing 4 is because you're going to sew them together and then flip them inside out, so that you have a nice clean edge at the bottom. Let's give this a good iron real quick. So go ahead and get your yeah, and it never fails. I would have forgot to cut some pieces after I cleaned up the space a little bit. You know, it never fails. Alright, so now that we have those 2 pieces, you gotta go over to your machine. Go over to your machine. Let's check. Yes, we do want you to go to your sewing machine. And we're going to sew down from the front all the way down to the, past the round edge, down to the bottom. And then we're gonna flip it inside out, give it a good press, and then we're gonna attach it to our front pieces. So let's go on over there and do that. Alright, so you should be back with your 2, sorry. If you're doing view B, you should be back with your 2 overlay pieces like this, which we sewed right side spacing, turned them inside out, and gave it a good press. Now we're gonna grab our front pieces and we're just gonna pin this down, and then we're gonna give it a good basting. So go ahead and pin this down here. I'm just gonna pin mine like that. Yeah, it's kind of, listen, I was really kind of concerned because I was like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be short, it's not gonna look good, but I think it's still gonna look really, really good. I think it's still gonna look really good. So go ahead and we're gonna base that down. I'm pinning mine. Don't judge me. That's what happens when you've been sewing for a really long time and you start trying to take a little shortcut here and there. So I'm gonna pin it. Let's grab the other side. I'm gonna pin it down there too. But I want you to take it to your machine and baste it. Oh no, I didn't. Yes, I did. Y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all, I don't care how long you've been sewing, you can still make some same mistakes. Look at this, y'all. I done put the daggone basting. I done put my dart on the front side. So when I go back to the machine, I'll just take those out and redo it. But of course, that's not what it's supposed to look like. So I'm telling you, it never fails sometimes. I could be having a really good streak. Like I could be on the scene like I'm on the road. And then I make a frivolous mistake like that. Like putting my dart on the wrong side. This is my seam ripper. And I just had the seam ripper, y'all. That's what's even more crazy about it. Okay. I'm gonna take these out real quick. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I did that. No. Okay, so you should be back from your machine, and your jacket should be sewn together at the sleeves, at the shoulders. So you should be looking like this so far. Again, if you did all the alterations and stuff that I did on my jacket. If you did not, only thing you're going to be missing that I have so far on my jacket is the pockets. So this is looking good. I think it's going to fit great. It's giving me the overall look that I wanted in the first place. Like I said, with the pockets, y'all. Yeah. Oh, let me scoot back so y'all can see her. But anyway, so you should have your jacket together at the shoulders. And it should be looking like this. So you should be seeing some shape to your clothes about now. And of course, I still have it pinned. I did not base mine down. Do not do as I do. Do as I say. So I'm going to pin that over here. So they've asked us to just scoot this over for a little bit. So we're going to scoot this over to the side and we're going to grab our collars. So let's move my girl over there and let's grab our collars out. So here's my under collar. And of course my collar is different because I have the fur on it that I want to be showing. So I did my under collar in the denim and I did my upper collar in the fur. Because the upper is what you're going to see when it flips over. This is what you're going to see. And of course I want it to have upper collar. Just like it has on the inspiration picture. So, the directions is telling us to grab our collars. 5 and 6. Okay, so it's telling us to... How far away are we? Oh, we're too far away. Alright, so go ahead and grab your collars. Both of them. You should have an under collar and a over collar. You're going to go to your machine and you're going to stitch your collars together, but you're going to leave the top edge open. Once you do that, when you sew them down together, right sides facing, we're going to flip them inside out. Okay, so we are back. I got my things and we're going to flip it inside out. First of all, let's clip some of these ends off. We don't need all of it going into yeah, more fur. Okay, so I'm gonna flip this over. And it does ask you to understitch, but like I said, because I'm dealing with this fur, I'm actually gonna top stitch mine. So let's give that a little earn. So boom, there we have my collar. Have it that, and y'all know me, let's clean these edges up. Cause y'all know we can't have no edges. You can't have no racked up edges. I don't want to look like them girls walking around here with them edges that they got going on, but that's what it was looking like just now. Okay, so the next thing you want us to do is go ahead and attach our collar to the jacket. So let's get started. Let's get physical, physical. Oh, I wanna get Where's it go? Let's get it. Where's it go? Let me hear your body talk. Your body talk. So we're gonna push my girl down, because I don't need her being all big and tall right now. And we're gonna find out notches, because you got notches and all kind of things. And we're gonna go to the end of this here. And I'm gonna pin it down. So you should be going to the edge of your jacket right there. And that one right there. Let me get my clips. I hope y'all can see. I'm trying to do the back camera because it's supposed to be better, but I'm gonna flip around to the front candle. Okay, so we got a better angle. Here we go. So we're gonna clip this down to the front of our collar right there. Same thing for the other side. Grab your collar. Okay, so now you should have your collar on the coat, and it should be looking like that, and I think it looks great. Onto the jacket, and make sure that that overlay is not crooked or twisted any kind of way. Which is not. Okay, so going over to your sewing machine. Oh gosh. All right, y'all, so going over to your machine and give it a good stitch all the way across the top of your collar, and then come back. So my collar is attached, and I gotta tell y'all, I'm feeling real good. I was kind of nervous earlier, but I'm feeling real good about this. Okay, so the next thing we gotta do is we're gonna put our facings together. So go ahead and grab your facing pieces. You should have two front facings and one back facing, and we're going to attach those together right now. Facings right here. So I did my facing in fur because I want the fur to pop out. See, pop out on them. So grab your two pieces, and with the right sides together, we're gonna start pinning them together. I'm using clips. Y'all can use pins or whatever you like, but I'm using clips. Right sides facing. And then you're going to go over to your machine and you're going to sew those pieces together so it should look like this. Now, normally I would say go ahead and make sure that your the outside edge is nice and clean, but because it's this fur and I want it to be kind of not that raggedy, but you know what I'm saying, I don't want a nice clean hem in it. So I'm gonna leave mine like this. So I'm not going to be edging mine off, but normally I would if I was using normal material and this was my facing. I would fold it under like that and give it a good sew all the way around after I've attached the three pieces together. But like I said, for this one I don't have to do it because I want the fur to look kind of in its natural state. So go ahead and do that and I'll be back. Okay, so you should be back and your facing should now be all attached together like that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to attach this to our coat. So let's get you over there by the coat again. Now, we are putting these right sides facing because we're going to flip it over. So right sides facing, pick it out. Well, like this. Just like that. Okay. Let me move this camera so you have a really good view of what's going on. I'm going to grab my clips because y'all know I'm doing clips today. So we're going to attach our facing. Now you're going to make sure that this facing, that your collar is sandwiched between your facing and the coat. So, throw a couple clips here. And put one here. I'm going to do this all the way around. Okay, facings. And you can match everything up. There's notches. Make sure your notches are matching. Make sure your corners are matching. Make sure your seams, if there's any seams, are matching as well. Let me take this off of her because this is not helping me. So let's go back to the table. Okay. So putting on our facing. Making sure everything is matching. See how my seams have lined up together? Your jacket should be the same way. So grab some clips. You can use as many clips or pins as you want. I'm going to be generous with my clips this time because I want to make sure I don't miss anything, and I want to make sure all layers are sewn together. So when you go to your sewing machine, you can use that last stitching that you use as a guide, but you want to make sure that you go through all of the layers of your coat. Do not miss a layer, y'all. I'm telling you, you don't want to do it. So we're doing this all the way around this way too. And then on my other side is where the jacket had that little hole in the piece or whatever. But listen, when you got your facing on here, it's not even going to matter. That's why I made sure I put it in the middle towards the inside, because I knew I had the facing, and I knew the facing would have to have seam allowance. And guess what? You'll never even know that this material was short or cut in the front. Yeah, I'm saying I'm really pleased about the way this is coming out. I do think I'll probably make another one of these jackets sometime. Maybe not with the Sherpa, but I do probably plan to make another one. Maybe, you know, switch it up and do something different. But now that I have it, my facing, make sure my facing is out. Yeah, now that I have my facing attached to my coat, going over to your sewing machine and give it a stitch all the way around and then come back. Okay, so you should have your facing on your jacket. And what I like to do, y'all know that, is get rid of some of these bulky edges and stuff, especially with this fur. When I say it is a lot of layers and it's very thick, we're gonna get rid of the fur. Let's do the other corner like that too. Over there too. It's right here. Alright, and I'm gonna use my little girlfriend again, so that I can turn this thing inside out like it's supposed to be. I'm gonna put that on there and I'm gonna flip it inside out the right way. Like that. LB, move, baby. Move, baby. Move. Move. You gonna have sheep all over. You wanna be a sheep? If you don't wanna be no sheep, you better move. Same thing on this side. Y'all, look at old girl. Look at old girl. Look at that girl. Look at your girl. Look at your girl. Okay. So, if you're making the jacket, this is what your jacket should be looking like right now. And of course, you're not making this jacket, but if you're making the pattern, then at this moment, this is what your coat should be looking like. Especially if you're doing version B. And again, like I said, we're going to skip the next section because I think it's the pockets. Oh no, we're doing the sleeves next. So when we put our sleeves on, that's fine. I'm going to just tack something so this pocket stays still, because it seems like it's kind of flighty because it's inside with no lining. But what y'all think so far? Y'all loving it as much as I'm loving it? Because I'm really loving it. And I think it really, really, really looks like my inspiration photo. Even though it's not as long as I wanted it to be, I think this length is perfect. Okay, so this is what our jacket is looking like so far. So go ahead and grab your sleeves, because that's the next thing on the to-do list. Now, y'all know, again, my inspiration photo has elbow patches on the sleeve. And here's my sleeves. So these are my pockets, which I don't need now, because I did the warp pockets. So here's my sleeves. Y'all know what I just thought about? What if I put some of that shearling on my sleeves, on the cuffs? Let me think about it. But anyway, so here is the here's my sleeve. Let me give him my little iron. Real quick. Give these a good little iron. Yeah, now I'm thinking I probably should have made my sleeves longer, but I didn't go and double check. But no, I think they'll be all right. Even with a little hem in it, it'll be okay. So here's my sleeves. Now, my debate is, should I go ahead and put my elbows on now, iron those on while everything is nice and flat? Because I've never really used elbow patches on purpose. When the clothes was putting on, like I put patches on my son's clothes and they busted holes and everything. But these are iron-on patches. Because again, my inspiration has that little iron-on, has that patch on the elbow. So, I think what I'm gonna do is I may have to recruit my son. Yep, I'm gonna have to recruit my son because what I'm gonna have him do is measure from my shoulder down to my elbow right there and see how long that is, and then I'll know like where to put that patch. Like I'll fold it in half and everything and put the patch on there. So I'll be back. Okay, so I went ahead and ironed this patch on in the spot where I want it to be. There it is, nice and neat. Everything is good. So I'm just gonna fold this over like it was right side spacing, so that I can make sure I get the patch in the same spot on the other side. So I got them lined up together. I put it down like this. Just, okay, so this needs to come up, tick. Show the imaging. Alright, then I'm gonna take my pen. Stick it down so it don't move. Take it to my iron and give it a good pressing. I'll take the pin out because we don't want that to get stuck in there. I'm gonna press it. Because they have us putting the sleeves on like flat sleeves, which I like better anyway, because you ain't gotta worry about folding them up together. So we're gonna put these on flat seams and then do one long stitch down the sleeve and down the side. So that's on there nice and neat. So we can go ahead and grab our coat. Get your coat. And for me, I'm gonna just turn mine inside out. Turn my coat inside out like this. And I'm gonna grab my sleeve like this, and I'm gonna start from the bottom edges right here. Put that there, and we're gonna pin it, and then pin it like that. Go on up, find your notches. I got my notches right there. Put it up. Little pin. I'm using pins this time, not clips. And y'all know I normally use my my girl when I put my sleeves in, but because I'm not doing it the other way, I'm doing it the flat way. I'm still using her, but you can actually lay this on the table to do this. And go ahead and pin everything down both sides of your sleeves so that we can go over to our machine and give it a good sew. Find your notches like that one. Oh, and there's another alteration on this pattern that I will not be doing. I will not be doing the slits on the side of the jacket. So that is in the instructions. Like I said, if you're doing the pattern, that's the instructions for the slits. But I'm not adding any slits on my jacket. And I'm not really sure why they have it on the short one anyway, because like you don't really need slits on the short jacket. Like, yeah, for your longer ones, but the short ones, And y'all know me anyway. I don't like a whole bunch of slits and stuff everywhere. That's just never been my thing. Even with my blazers, like when they have the vents in the back, the vents are cute sometimes. But I'm gonna tell y'all, I don't need no vent. Just have my jacket go straight across the back. I don't need no vent. You know, my derriere hasn't gotten that big where it necessarily needs a vent. That's what I always be thinking those vents are for real. So you don't bunch up. So do the same thing with the other sleeve. Go ahead and get the pinning it up. Find your notches and match those up. Go to the ends of this coat. Yeah, we are really almost done with this coat. Once I get these sleeves on and we sew down the sides, one long sleeve down the side, we're going to be putting a hem in it. And that's it. And any other little things that I've noticed, like I want to tack my pockets. We want to do that. I'm going to tack my pockets down so they don't be moving. I feel like they're not moving all around when wearing the coat or not. There we go. And I'm gonna tell y'all, I do skimp on a lot of things sometimes. Like I won't do certain stuff, but like when it comes to my sleeves, I don't play with my sleeves. So I do use a lot of pins and a lot of clips because I want my sleeve to stay in place. I don't want it to slip. I don't want no no wrinkles and stuff, and I don't want no pleats where it's not supposed to be one. So I make sure that I really pin my sleeves and stuff down. So now that your sleeves are pinned down, going over to your machine, give it a sew straight across, and I'll show you the next step. Okay, so we are back again from the machine, and your jacket should have sleeves now. These what your sleeves should look like. These are my sleeves with the patches on them. But I like the way they look. Everything looks good to me. I like to make sure I ain't skipping no stitches, and I want to make sure I got that overlay together everywhere, and I do. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to pin it from our, and actually I think they hem their jacket first. So I think they hem the sleeves to make it easier. So go ahead and do that. We're going to take it, we're going to roll it under about 1/4 inch, and then do it one more time so you have a nice clean edge right there. You're going to give that you're going to sew straight across that. Then we're going to take our sleeves. We're going to pin them together here. And in fact, I'm going to hem mine after because I don't want that seam in my hem. So go ahead and start matching up your notches, your seams. Y'all know how I am about crooked seams. Do not play with me. And I know that you're going to crooked seams in your coat. Not after all the work that we just put in for this coat. You better not. And like I said, for me, I'm using pins. And I'm really just pinning up the sleeve to make sure that stays nice and flat and straight. And then I'll just sew down the coat, which will be fine. Make sure all of your seams, all those, well for me, all those new hems and stuff that I done put, I gotta make sure that they're pointing flat. Just like that. Because I worked hard to make sure that these seams was matching all the way around. Pin. Like a little pin. Do the same thing on the other side. So what it's gonna look like, and this is also a time to try on the coat. So like for me, I'm trying it on. Yep. It's fitting like I want to. That sleeve is right. The elbow will be right once I put the sleeve on inside out. It will be right. Right now it's not. It's a little off because this is not the back of my, because yeah, it's a little off right now because this seam is supposed to be underneath my thing, but it's on the wrong side. So let's go on over and get that sewn up. So you're gonna start from the edge of your sleeve and go all the way down to the bottom of your coat on both sides and come back. Check it out, y'all. Yeah. I love it. I do love it. So now, only thing I need to do now is make sure that the hem is straight across the bottom. And it actually came out longer than I thought, y'all. I thought it was going to be kind of short, but this ain't really short. So for me, this is long enough. I like a long coat sometimes, but yeah, this one is long enough. But I don't know what y'all think. Did I nail it? Kind of, sort of. All right, well, let me go ahead and hem the bottom. Got to do that. Go ahead and hem the bottom. And then hem my sleeves. And like I said, there's a few other things. Once I hem the bottom and the sleeve, and then I'm going to tack these pockets. I'm going to tack the pockets on the inside because it's not lined. I'm just going to tack them to the jacket so that they stay in place. So they don't be flopping all throughout the coat. But y'all, I love it. I do love it. Stay tuned to see how I style this thing. Ooh. Okay, so let's go ahead and hem this coat so that we can actually put it on where it outside. So I'm going to use the fold over facing method, and hopefully that generates an automatic hem. That's what I want to say, an automatic hem. So, okay, so first things first, let's get it. Let's lay it out like this, and let's get it cut across so it's nice and even. That's first things first. But you can't really put a hem in it if the materials are uneven. So have it laid out flat like this. Laid out flat like that. Oh, this is the face in the triple. Like, why is this thing not doing what it's supposed to do? Why ain't it doing what it's supposed to do? That's what I kept thinking. So let's get it laid out. Laid out like this. And y'all, to be honest, because I have a fur at the bottom, I probably won't even hem this. I won't hem the bottom. I'm going to hem my sleeves, but I'm going to leave the bottom in its natural state of fur. But we just going to make sure it's even, though. We might have to keep on. Just make sure it's good and even. Like I said, since it has the we're gonna go with the raw edge on the bottom. We're not gonna hem it. I mean, well, we are gonna put a little hem in it because I'm gonna hem this so that the facing don't move. So that's what we'll do. We'll hem the facing and leave the coat as is. Okay, so keep cutting straight across. Like that, and then I'll just use my rotary cutter to catch any of that on edge like that. Boom, 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 I have my facings back. So what I'm gonna do is go over to my machine. I'm gonna sew this facing straight across here, like this at the bottom, on both sides. Then I'm gonna flip it on the inside of the coat. That will keep that from moving all around when I have the coat on. It'll give it a little shape. Okay, so I'm gonna do that, and then we're going to go ahead and hem the sleeves. Same thing with the sleeve, like I told you earlier, we're gonna do a double because my serger is out right now. It's in a shop. So once it's home, I'll be able to go back and use my serger. So put that down like this. And this is what I mean when I said I didn't want that seam. Like, I don't want that seam inside my hem. So if you hem it first, if you hemmed it first, you're gonna have a seam in your hem, and I don't want that. So fold it over about 1/4 inch and fold it over again. I'm clipping it down so it don't move. Like that. Do it on both sides. Go over to your machine. Sew that right there. Sew that right there. Sew those edges, and then come back. I'll show you that. And then that'll probably be it. But come on back. And just like that, we are done. And I am so happy and I am so pleased with the results of this coat. I cannot believe how good it looks. Yeah, I put it on and everything, and I love it. Like, I love it. I got the patch on there. I've hemmed my sleeves. I also tacked my pockets so they're not moving all around in there. And all I gotta say is bravo, Simplicity 8554. I am so happy I was able to dupe your pattern to get the coat that I want. I hope y'all enjoyed this tutorial. Listen, if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. Send me an email at kcharlescouture@gmail.com. I will respond to you. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Have a good one. Peace out. Bye-bye.